Good evening. How you doing? Pop here. Well, I got another little story for you that maybe will make you chuckle, kind of lighten your day. Maybe you had a tough day, or maybe you just kind of been dealing with a lot of negativity and what have you. So I got a funny little story I'd like to share with you. But I want to tell you a story about my oldest son, Jason, who is I'm so proud of. He's a grown man now, got a family and a business. He's a crop duster. Always kind of been out there on the, I'm not going to say daredevil, because crop dusting isn't a daredevil. I'm a pilot also, been flying all my life, but it's definitely a dangerous job. But anyway, when he was a little kid, he loved fishing. He loved to hunt, fish. You know, we were raised on a farm, and you know, he was just an outdoors kid. He got his first 20 gauge shotgun from his grandpa when he was 6 years old. He'd go out before school in the morning and shoot doves before school. He loved his grandpa, loved that shotgun. Went fishing. He'd take him go fishing, catfishing in the pond we had out there. Anyway, just a real outdoors boy. And but we were going on a fishing trip one day, and it was down what we call the Land Cut down in South Texas. Take off out of Corpus Christi and take a boat and go down there, and it was a long drive down there, and we stayed on little cabins out on the spoil islands out there and fish all night long with generators and lights. There was no conveniences out there. It was just a shack and a little makeshift pier for fishing, and we'd go out there back in the day, and you could catch all the trout you wanted any size you wanted. We'd take spec rigs down there and go fishing and under the lights, and man, we'd bring in 2 trout at a time sometimes and just fill up a basket. Just had a grand time. So anyway, he always wanted to go, and he was probably about this time, he must have been 5, 6 years old, maybe, probably closer to 5, maybe 4, I don't know. Young kid, young enough where his mama really didn't want him to go. Just a bunch of men, but we were all friends. And she gave him his life jacket that had the jacket with a little flap on the back that float, had a handle on the back of that life jacket right there, so I could pick him up if I needed to. And so we went down there and went fishing, you know, and he was having a grand old time and doing good, catching fish, running up and down the pier and what have you. Well, one of my real good friends, his name was Tommy, had a boat, and we took 2 or 3 boats down there, and there was probably 4, 5, 6 of us guys. And of course the lights were out on the end of the pier. The pier itself wasn't lit, just on the end of the pier, shining out in the water to bring up the shrimp, which would bring up the trout. And Tommy came in with Jason to the shack. I was inside, and he came in, and Jason was wringing wet and shaking like a leaf. And what in the world? What happened? And Tommy laughed, and he said, well, Jason was following me, and I went out to the end of the pier, and the pier L'd to the left. So I went out to the end of the pier and turned left, and Jason saw me. He'd been tagging along, so he came running after me. Well, he just cut across, went straight towards where Tommy was, which the pier's this way, at the end goes this way, and Jason went that way, and he just went blunk and stepped off right into the channel right there. And of course he went under and popped back up. Tommy was right there. He just reached down, grabbed him by that handle on the back of that life jacket, picked him up, set him back on the pier, and Jason was petrified. Later, he said, didn't mind falling in the water, didn't scare me falling in the water, didn't mind getting wet and all that kind of stuff, but he said I was scared to death that a shark was going to get me. Ain't no sharks out here, just trout and just a little old channel like a river out there. But anyway, we laughed about that, had fun with it, and just kind of some little funny story, maybe something like that's happened to you, and maybe that's something that you enjoyed hearing. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, make a comment, say, yeah, that was a neat story. You got any more? And I got hundreds of them, because I'm an old man, and I'll tell you, I can tell you stories from the time I was 3, 4 years old up until this past week. So hopefully you like it. Hopefully you'll subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Hope God blesses you richly. Remember that we love you, and we're going to be having some more of these. Hope everything goes well in your life. Pops out. Adios, man.